Beshus, Moiv Rabbi, Blutschlitte, Beshus, Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbonim, Admoirim, Kol HaKodesh Hazeh. Dr. Berg, you didn't yet stand up here and see the hundreds of people that are here and coming and going tonight. But this is a much more humbling experience than I even expected. I was very torn when Rabbi Fried and his team attacked me that I have to speak at the Lifeline dinner and present together with my Yedid Nefesh, Yitze Scheinerman, the award to the PICU, to the Pediatric ICU in CHOP, headed by Dr. Berg, because those that are with me there know that I really don't and didn't have the time to be masad in my thoughts. At the same time, how could I turn down the opportunity to express our gratitude to Chai Lifeline, to PICU, and to Dr. Berg? So I'm addressing both the Olam here, and as I told Dr. Berg, here I get to talk to him. This is my turf. So I wanted to talk about a few points. A Yid, a Jew, is called a Yehudi. And the translation, the Shoirish, the root of the word Yehudi is Haidah, is gratitude. It says that when Mashiach comes, when Messiah comes, the one carbon that we're going to have is the carbon Toida. I think the reason is because we're called Yehudi not because it's not just a character trait of ours. Baruch Hashem, thank God that we are very, very proud, like we've heard over and over today, the different things that Lifeline and so many people do. But this midah, this character trait of Haidah is our very essence. Rav Yitzchak Hutner Zatzal explained that the word Haidah and the word Moida is from the same Shoirish. It's from the same root. And the reason is because in order for someone to express proper gratitude, he first has to admit that he has to come on to someone else. He first has to admit and appreciate what he has gotten from someone else. And these are the character traits that are not always easy, but is what represents and what is our very essence. Tonight, and I've heard other years, people talk about all the different people in Chai Lifeline, especially those that head it. Rabbi Fried, Rabbi Shubratsky, Mrs. Gorelik, Aaron Kozlowitz, and all of them. And I hear this one's my case manager, and this one's director national. I'll tell you the truth, I'm very bad at that. I don't know who's my case manager, and I have no idea who's the regional manager. I know that Al Malach Elikim. And I'm not trying to exaggerate. And we're going to try not to be Ma'arich in some of the Chasadim. People talked about different pratim that they do, but I want to bring out something I thought of only tonight when I was here, about Chai Lifeline. They do an unbelievable amount of things. But one of the reasons why I was chosen to speak is because Rabbi Yisrael was Nofal Bechelki to spend a lot of time in the PICU recently. Together, me and my Yedid Nefesh Yitze Scheinerman, we spent close to a year in PICU. So not only do I have my own experiences with Chai Lifeline, but I am watching, I don't know if they know this, but how they deal with all the different chayim that are there. I'm older than a lot of the people that are there now, unfortunately, with children, and we schmooze a lot, and they tell me different things that Chai Lifeline is doing for them. And one of the biggest things that they know how to do is when they know what not to do. It's a davar pela ad ma'od. Someone's whole life is chesed, and they're constantly doing and doing to know what not to do, to know when not to pick up the phone call. And I know she's going to kill me, but Mrs. Gorelik is an isha gedoyle me'od when it comes to this midah. I remember the first night, the first experience we had with Chai Lifeline was with her. She met me in the hallway when we were emergency surgery, and she told us that she's leaving. After being there a long time with us, about 2 hours later, she showed up again. I said, I thought you're leaving. She wanted us to think that she left. She didn't want to be in our face, and then she came again to check if we're okay. And this is something that all of them constantly do. Every person that's in CHOP is being helped in a different way. Some people need someone to take care of their children. Some people need presents for their children. Some people need someone to talk to. Some people need the doctors. This really is my listening ear if I have to let it out to someone. But each person is being helped in their unique way. And when the help is not the help, they're there also. And I think what that shows is that the chesed is Laman Hashem. It's Laman Amoy. It's nothing to do with them. I was talking to Hagoyin Hagadol of Dovi Feinstein Shlita today. And I asked him, what should I talk about at the Lifeline dinner? And he said, in a simplistic way, drill in the minds and in the minds of the Olam at the dinner. Make sure the message gets back to CHOP that Olam Chesed Yiboneh. The world is built on Chesed. The world is built on charity, on helping one another. And I was thinking that my message to Dr. Berg and to CHOP, and I think it's very apropos that Dr. Berg is the one that's getting the thing, because I've actually talked to him about it, how difficult it is to be a doctor in a place like PICU, and he told me he immensely enjoys his job because he's able to help people. But one of the things that I think is important to make sure that Dr. Berg understands, that the entire PICU team, from the respiratory therapists to the nurses, that they understand, one, is that you're looking at this crowd, Dr. Berg, there are many people here that are my friends and relatives, and there are many of them that are not. But most of them know my son's name, Shlomo. They daven for Shlomo ben Sarliza, Rafael Chaim Shayosh, ben Baba Chai Rivka every single day. Because when you help one person in CHOP that's from this community, you are helping the entire community. And as a community, we want to make sure that the message gets back to them, that it is greatly appreciated. And every one of us feel like you are there, and we know there are times that you have to go beyond. We were zeicha to make a bris 8 weeks ago, and no one believed that they would allow in a hospital and an ICU to perform a bris. And Sully Free, together with the entire team, worked with the hospital CHOP, and I think they themselves couldn't believe how much they were willing to work with us to not only allow us to make the bris, but the bris was in Shlomo's room. He was able to have a midah lebrachas. And then we found out Dr. Berg's secret, that he was once flown to California to be a moil himself. But the one thing I think that could get lost in an ICU is that it's not just about the life-saving intubations. It's not just about the big decisions that have to be made. But when you're there for 4.5 months and you're watching them, trust me, most of them are already waiting for me to leave. I'm there at all hours of the night, and I'm watching them, and I'm talking to them, and I see them talking to each other. Whether it's Dr. Berg or Dr. Morgan, Dr. Alexis, Kumar, Dr. Jess, Colin, Christian, all of them. The list goes on. How they go beyond to try and help each and every one to feel better. It could get lost when you're dealing with life-threatening illnesses, the value of a nurse. As some of the attendings know in the thing, I've been making a big push. I fight with them all the time because my son likes the male nurses to get them. And I've been explaining to them, and they tell me over and over, the attendings. It's just as important as the life-saving medicine as we're giving him, is that he should be comfortable. And I could go through a list of nurses. I have to give a call out to Joseph, who literally goes above and beyond. And the day of the bris, he told me, was the most humbling day of his life. But this is who we represent. When you come to this Kehila Kadosha, when you come to this family, this Orthodox Jewish community of Lakewood, you should know that when we say thank you, we don't just mean because we need something from you. It is who we are. There are 18 blessings that we say every single day, 3 times a day. And in it, there's a special prayer for healing. And we say, Heal us, Hashem. Heal us, God. And then we will be healed. Save us, and then we will be saved. for you are the one that we praise. Why do we stick in the prayer of healing and asking God and understanding that He is the one that has the keys to all of the healings, that we thank you? And the reason is because this is our character trait. Even in the darkest moments, even when we are praying to get healed, even when in the medical world it's hard for them to find a way to be healed, and we know when we cry to God and we say, we know it's in your hands, but we say, Ki sila seinu ata. It is to you that we praise. And I think it is 2 points that we are saying. One is that even during this most dark and difficult time, we don't forget and we don't lose sight of all the good that you are doing. And we are praising you. And all the more so if we merit, with God's help, to get the healing. We will always give gratitude to all those shluchim, all those messengers, those special people that God sent, those doctors and those nurses. But we know, God, that you are the one that holds the keys for healing, and we will never forget to praise you. There's an unbelievable explanation and something that it says in the Torah. It says that the tribe sold their brother Yosef, their brother Joseph, down to Egypt. And it says there that in the caravan, there were psumim, there were spices that smelled well. And one of the earliest commentators, Rashi, brings from the Medrash that this wasn't a normal thing. The normal way, the caravans always had very bad smelling things in there. But God wanted to show Joseph his love, and he therefore made it that even though it wasn't normal, but it should be a good smelling caravan. And people ask, he's being sold by his brothers down to Egypt, who cares how it smells? And there was a very big rabbi, Hagoyin Agodol Ramotcha Pagamansky, the tells Eloi, that said that the pshat is that even in the darkest times, many, many times, if you merit it, God gives you something special, whether it's something that smells well, whether it's a painkiller that helps, whether it's the cure of a good nurse. And what God is telling you is that for whatever reasons, we don't always understand God's ways. But don't give up, because I am with you. And that is our job, and that is our essence, is that we're always looking and appreciating to see where is God holding our hand and thanking Him for that. I was shocked a few weeks ago. I was standing in the hallway in the PICU, and one of the charge nurses came by with a whole bunch of very choshev-looking people, very influential people, and I found there was the board of directors with some of the board of trustees, and they said, maybe speak to this person, he's been here for a while. And they asked me, tell me, what could we do better? I said, you sure you want me to answer that question? But I told them the biggest thing that I am taken aback at, as everybody knows, that CHOPS PICU is a world-renowned. It's one of the biggest and best PICUs in the world. And the board of trustees and board of directors are walking around. What could we still do better? Talking to patients' parents, what can we do to make you feel better, is the biggest compliment that you could give them. At the end of the day, there's another point that I think, whoever's in PICU knows that it's not just about Chai Lifeline, it's not just about CHOP. The uniqueness of CHOP is the partnership that CHOP has with Chai Lifeline. It's something that, I'm sure that many, many times we're freed, and the other people at Chai Lifeline are asking for favors. We know the kosher pantry from when I was there a year ago to now doubled in size. We have hot food over the weekends on the Sabbath, only because CHOP allowed it, and CHOP paid for it, and it's something that every one of us appreciate. And we're planning to asking for another expansion. But the truth is, as the Shiva can attest, it's a tremendous chesed. You not just get food there. We just recently upgraded the Svarim shrines there. And we brought in, the Bergwood family just donated Svarim there, a set of Mesifta, because I was telling them, Chai Lifeline, I can't tell you how many times I walk down there and people are sitting and learning Gemara, Mishnah Brewers, Musa Svarim. It's not to be believed. And take advantage of it. I'm zeicha to learn now. While I was there, I met someone there, a cousin of mine, Rav Naftali, that we learned Nefesh Chaim Shar Daled. And you're sitting in a hospital and you're trying to chop a few minutes here and there of learning Torah. And you see how many people are doing it, and then you learn Shar Daled and you realize that you're creating Olamas. You're making tzinoiris of Shefa, of Brocha, and Ezra Hashem Refuas. One of the character traits of Chai Lifeline is an unbelievable understanding that was mentioned a few times that my co-representative of Yitze Scheinerman's father, going to Moshe, told me today. A beautiful word for also going to Motche Pagamansky. We say every morning in the prayers that these are things that one reaps merit in this world and in the next world. And it goes through a list of things. And then it says, visiting the sick, providing for a bride, and escorting and honoring the dead. He asked, why is Bika Cholim, why is visiting the sick said in a Lashon Rabbim, plural, and the other two said in Lashon Yochid? And he said, when he once went to visit a Cholim and he spent a long time in the person's house, and he went to speak to each individual family member, and when he left, they said, what are you doing? And he told him that it says Bika Cholim in Lashon plural, because when there's a Cholim, every single person in the family has a din that you have to be mevaka Cholim. Every person in the family is affected by it, and every person in the family has something else that they need. That is something that Chai Lifeline truly understands and continues to ask and to beg, to get feedback from the parents. What can we do better? What else do you need? What else do other people need? And with that, their Rebbeinu Shalom should be give them kifli kiflayim of brachas and yeshuas and refuas, and all of our tefillah should be answered. The Rebbeinu Shalom should be mekadeshim shemayim and show all of us that he's a kol yochel, and he should bring a refuah shleima b'shleimus to call all the cholim. And we should be zeicha, all of us, to be as Mashiach tzidkeinu b'mheir v'yameinu. Just want to call up Yitze Scheinerman and Dr. Berg to get the award, the Community Service Award. I hope so.
It's a great honor and a pleasure to be here today with the community here in Lakewood. This really isn't an award for me. I work in a very special place, as was mentioned a minute ago, a large, outstanding institution with over 300 nurses, 35 fully boarded senior doctors, maybe 100 more junior doctors, respiratory therapists, social workers, case managers, rabbis, Chai Lifeline personnel that all work together to try and provide for the people that come to our intensive care unit the kind of care that we would want to have for our own children. That is our goal at CHOP, and I am just a figurehead that represents one part of that as part of the family that we are at CHOP to provide for the family that's from Lakewood and for many other groups of families from our heart to do the best we can for you. And it's such a great honor to be brought here and for people to show their appreciation. We do it because we believe it's the right thing to do. To hear appreciation just makes a bigger smile on our face. So thank you so much.